wandering down a path each time with no recollection of where the path leads. No idea what comes next at every turn. I see the trees growing closer and closer to me, their leaves draping over me like a jacket. There's a sweet smell of pine trees. There's a soft breeze, but where it's coming from, I do not know. As I walk down the path towards the source of the breeze, the trees retreat from around me. Ahead of me is a magnificent lake. The air is crisp and fresh. I let my gaze wander across the lake to see a pair of loons diving for fish. I see a bald eagle in the highest tree scouring the shoreline for fish. I see life. Some say that living is working a 9-to-5 job just so you can pay the bills and maybe take an occasional vacation. Others say follow your dreams, but not me. To me, living is to have a purpose. Living is to continuously strive towards greatness, set goals, and achieve them to your fullest potential. And most importantly, to be doing your part in society to keep it moving in a healthy manner. As I look over the lake ahead of me, I see life. I see an ecosystem working in perfect harmony, making everything come full circle. This is living. I wrote this on my first trip to the Boundary Waters back in 2017. However, we're good. Good work. No, sit. However, it wasn't until my second trip up there when I really truly realized how magnificent the area was. I knew it was gorgeous up there, but I didn't know how fearless the animals were and how each one has a job and all know how to succeed to their fullest potential. It's crazy to me to think that 8 years ago, I had no idea what the Boundary Waters even were. Located in northern Minnesota, on native Ojibwe land, this 2.7 billion-year-old crown jewel is inhabited by more than 50 species of mammals, over 200 species of birds, and around 50 species of fish. These creatures have been peacefully thriving for thousands of years in harmonious balance with humans. With over 1 million acres of land, the Boundary Waters is barely touched by man. With only 155,000 visitors a year, the creatures living here grow used to not being seen by humans. These animals do not know what technological advancement humanity has come to. There's no motorboats, there are no buildings. This place is flourishing with wonderful creatures, small and large. With pure water, an abundance of nutrients in the soil, with a food chain working in perfect harmony, northern Minnesota is home to one of the most diverse ecosystems in the world. Places like these are hard to find in the modern world. It almost seems everywhere you turn, there's a building towering over you. Everywhere you turn, there's a cell tower looming on top of the hilltop. Sometimes it seems impossible to escape this reality. Modern life has moved us so far away from the natural world, it's almost scary to think of what might happen if humanity would have to go back to our ancestors' ways of living. It scares me to think how much technology has advanced and how technologically dependent humanity has become. Every time I sit on my phone, I get this feeling that I'm purely wasting my life away, wondering how deep I've fallen, wondering how far I've detached myself from the natural world. I think back 10 years ago when I was running through the forest in search of every living creature I could find, in search of the deer grazing on the hilltop, in search of the squirrels scouring the forest floor to find their stash of acorns from last fall, in search of the living creatures below the Earth's surface. As I come back to reality, looking up from my phone, my gaze wanders outside the window. I look at the hillside and tell myself I'm still a part of Mother Earth, still one with the natural world. But am I? I try to tell myself I am, but then I realize that every time I pick up my phone at every sound of the notification, that I'm detaching myself from every moment of fascination I've ever had of the land. I've become so addicted to this feeling of instant gratification by every like that I get on my Instagram post or by every text I receive. It's disheartening how much time I spend on my phone. I can't believe how far down the rabbit hole I've fallen, and I find myself trying so hard to climb my way out. Every time I'm on an adventure into the woods, I get this sense of freedom that I do not get anywhere else. I get this sense of gratitude for everything around me. As I wander through the woods in search of nothing, I take in everything around me. I take in the soft breeze as it rolls by. I take in the earthy smell that I cannot get anywhere else. I take a deep breath and press forward through the trees. Each step towards this unknown destination is one step closer to being out of the hole I've dug myself with technology. And yet each time I go to the Boundary Waters with no phone, I become less attached to technology and more in tune with the natural world. I took my first trip up to the Boundary Waters 4 years ago, and since then, I've taken 6 more trips, each lasting about 12 to 14 days, packing in 2 weeks of food, pots, pans, kitchen essentials, a canoe, paddles, fishing rods and gear, tent, clothes, and most importantly, a free spirit. My dad and I take these trips together not only because we feel this sense of freedom, not only because we love to catch the fish, but because it brings us together in such a way we do not get back home. We both have this love for the Boundary Waters because it's provided so much for us. It's given us this plentiful basket of love each day we are up there. Each day full of new surprises waiting to be discovered. No matter the area we choose, each time it feels as if it's never been explored. Backpacking and canoeing miles deep into the seemingly endless terrain gives us this sort of reverence that you cannot get anywhere else. Each time I go to the Boundary Waters, I discover something new, something I never thought I would see or experience. There have been so many fantastic memories that I've made up here, some of which truly get the adrenaline running, and others just experiences that could never be replaced. There have been times that I thought I might not make it out, times that the wind has been blowing so strong the waves are crashing over the side of the boat, almost capsizing us. Even in these moments of what seems to be pure chaos, there's also this level of solidarity between Mother Earth and me. There are times where we come in very close contact with bears right outside our tent at night. We've had bears get into our food, tearing open our food packs, eating a plentiful amount of our rations. There's just an unpredictable nature about the land that can truly humble you at any given moment, and I love it. In the summer of 2020, my dad and I took another trip up to the Boundary Waters. When we got up there, we were roaming the streets of Ely, Minnesota, stopping into coffee shops, outfitters, and making sure we had everything we need to embark on yet another epic journey. As we passed by a little shop on top of the hill, we saw a sign out front with the words, "Save the Boundary Waters." Now this truly caught our attention. After reading this, we found out that for over a decade, Twin Metals Mining Company has been trying to start a sulfide ore copper mine 9 miles outside the wilderness area. This mine raises a huge pollution problem, not only because it's located on the shores of Birch Lake, a popular recreational destination, and will produce mountains of mine waste, but also because all of the waterways are connected and all of the toxic chemicals from this mine will leak into the Boundary Waters, contaminating the water, killing the fish, and making it near impossible for the water-dwelling birds and land mammals to survive. This place is half land and half water, so it is nowhere near the ideal place to build and run an underground sulfide ore copper mine. Sulfide ore copper mining is a dreadful process. Sulfide mining extracts trace amounts of copper, nickel, and other metals from sulfide ores. When sulfide ore comes in contact to water or oxygen, a chemical reaction occurs and produces sulfuric acid, which is the same as battery acid. In addition to acidifying lakes and rivers, sulfuric acid leaks out heavy metals such as mercury, lead, arsenic, and other toxins from the rock, producing acid mine drainage. The pollution from sulfide mining is nearly impossible to contain and can last for hundreds, even thousands of years. More often than not, it's the taxpayers who are left to pay the cleanup bill. There has never been a sulfide mine that has not polluted surrounding water sources. It's all but guaranteed that acid mine drainage from these mines will contaminate the groundwater and seep into surrounding lakes and streams. If open, these mines will cause irreparable damage to northern Minnesota. This has been going on for over a decade now, and at the end of Barack Obama's term in 2016, he worked to block Twin Metals mine from operating here. These mineral leases were terminated in 2016 and cannot lawfully be resurrected and renewed. The Trump administration's action followed an abrupt cancelization of the promised assessment of the proposed 20-year ban on copper mining on Superior National Forest land near the Boundary Waters. With 2 conservation groups, the Center of the Biological Diversity and the Wilderness Society followed a lawsuit challenging the Trump administration over its decision to renew 13 prospective permits that could lead to the expanded Twin Metals sulfide ore copper mine. And now, the Biden administration has announced that they are going to review the reinstatement of these twin metal mineral leases next to the Boundary Waters. This is a huge step forward for us, and could hopefully lead to the abolishment of this mine. But the fight is nowhere near finished. We cannot rely on politicians to do the job for us. The unification of the people is more powerful than any politician. We can all come together and fight. Each one of us can get educated on this mine. Visit the Save the Boundary Waters website, where you will have the ability to sign the petition, donate money, and more. When I first found out about this major threat to the boundary waters, I knew I had to do something. I couldn't just sit there and hope for the best. After lots of consideration and tossing ideas around in my head, I finally came up with the idea to make a video. I had some resentment towards this idea because I do not like spending so much time on a screen. However, I really wanted to reach out to my generation and inspire them. Knowing teenagers nowadays, everyone has a phone and everyone has a short attention span. I wanted to make this video short, and I wanted to make it powerful from start to finish. So I journeyed north once more with all of my filming equipment and trying to capture how amazing this place truly is. After a week in paradise, I went home to filter through footage. I got home and immediately lost all interest to stare at a screen for hours. But after a month of procrastinating, I finally sat down and dived into hours upon hours of footage. I tried to envision how I wanted this video to turn out, and I struggled to find the ways I wanted to piece it together. But after hours of placing, deleting, and shifting footage, I had a rough draft of what I wanted it to look like. Each day I worked on it, and with each day I poured my heart into this video. And then one day I logged in, and about 10 hours of footage was gone. I tried to wrap my head around this. Heartbroken, I sat there in utter disbelief. 5 minutes of video was gone, erased for good. Discouraged once again, I sat down and got to work. I worked late each night trying to get back what I lost. And finally I had this video I was happy with. I felt so accomplished, I almost felt like I was done. Only to realize I still had an essay to write, service aspect to do, and a slideshow to prepare. At this point, I only had a few months left. And so I needed a service aspect, so I came up with the brilliant idea to screen print t-shirts and sell them. All of the funds will be donated to the Save the Boundary Waters campaign in Ely, Minnesota. This was perfect. I got to work coming up with ideas, and with the help of Sebastian Daniil, a fellow senior, my journey opened up. Sebastian helped me create the print and set me up to start putting them on t-shirts. I immediately had people buying them, and that made me happy. Currently, we have raised $215. If you would like to buy one, you can contact me at 608-475-4824 or on Instagram at Coyote_Merkel. I hope this inspired each one of you to get out in the world and make a difference. So without further ado, let's watch the video.
My name is Coyote Merkel. I am from Viroqua, Wisconsin, and I hope my story helps save the boundary waters. My love for nature all started when I was a little boy. For as long as I can remember, I was fascinated by the elegantly tall trees and the little creatures above and below the surface of the soil. Every single day I would run into the forest chasing deer, squirrels, and every living creature I could find. When I took my first trip to the Boundary Waters, I was amazed by how beautiful and enchanting it was in northern Minnesota. Every time I came home from these trips, my heart ached to be back up there. And yet each time I know it will not be my last. But this time was different. I found out that this crown jewel of Minnesota is being threatened by a sulfide ore copper mine located only 9 miles outside the wilderness area. And I can't help but to think, maybe this is my last time. For over a decade, a company called Twin Metals has been seeking permission to build and run an underground sulfide ore copper mine here. The Twin Metals mine is no small project. The proposal includes a mine, multiple tunnels, and office spaces located more than 4,000 feet under the Superior National Forest. And on top of that, the development would generate a mountain of mine waste on the shores of Birch Lake, a popular recreational destination with family cabins, resorts, and campgrounds, and located only 9 miles away from the Boundary Waters canoe area. The mine waste will leak into the Boundary Waters, contaminating the water, killing the fish, and making it near impossible for the water-dwelling birds and land mammals to survive. Inhabited by more than 50 species of mammals, over 200 species of birds, and around 50 species of fish, the Boundary Waters is one of the most diverse ecosystems in the world. Without clean water, nothing can live. Nothing can thrive in a land polluted with toxic chemicals. Water is the source of life, and in order for us to protect it, we need people. We need an abundance of people to educate themselves about this mine so we can stop it. There are already a few organizations that have come together to help fight. However, a few is not enough. The most profound of these is the Save the Boundary Waters campaign. Located in the heart of Ely, Minnesota, the Save the Boundary Waters campaign has been working endless hours to help ensure the security of this sacred land, so that we all can enjoy everything it has to offer. And yet, in June of 2020, Donald Trump approved this mine, clearing the path for twin metals to come in and destroy the land. President Joe Biden has given us a second chance. By hiring people who value the protection of the planet, we now have people in office we can trust. But the fight is far from over. We have a long road ahead of us to protect this land. Each and every one of us has a job to do. We can all get educated on this mine and come together as a community, sign the petition, and donate money to the Save the Boundary Waters campaign. We cannot rely on politicians to do the job for us. The unification of the people is more powerful than any politician. "155,000 people visit the Boundary Waters a year, making it the most visited wilderness area in the United States. People come from across the globe every year to embark on an epic journey to experience the wildlife, drink the water, catch the fish, and live off of the land. The Boundary Waters are the perfect escape from their chaotic lifestyle. We need to save this place so that we can take our children and our children's children to show them what the land has to offer. The land has more to offer than any technological advancement will ever be able to give us. The Boundary Waters is a 2.7 billion-year-old landmark, and it needs our help. It needs our help to save it. So let us come together and finish this once and for all.
We good? Sweet. Hopefully you all enjoyed that video. Yeah. Fantastic. I would like to thank my senior project mentor, Drew Etling, for helping me so much with this video. He's truly a knowledgeable person who loves Mother Nature just as much as I do. I would also like to thank my parents for supporting me so much along the way and giving me so much advice. And I would like to thank Sebastian Daniil for helping me with the t-shirts, which you can buy right now if you want to. And finally, I would like to thank Sean Lavoie for giving me so much helpful advice throughout every aspect of this project. Any questions? questions.
Looks and sounds great. Awesome video, Coyote. Beautiful, stunning photography and footage, convincing words. Proud of you. Please post your phone and Instagram again. Great job, Yotes.
That was James, wasn't it?
No, that was Miranda. Wow. Where will the video be shown so that lots of people can see it?
The video will be posted on the For the Water website. It's Drew Etling and a few of his friends traveled around Lake Superior in their kayaks testing the water for microplastics, and they have a whole website, they have a whole documentary, and it will be posted on that website as well. Also, yeah, I don't know how to go back to my contact information.
I can put it back there, yeah. Hey, brother, good job. Love you, Althea. That's your sister.
Oh,
Solid work, Coyote. Gorgeous, great work. Are you in touch with Save the Boundary Waters organization? What did they think of your video?
I have not sent it to them yet. I was in touch with them a little bit, talking to them just about the logistics of it, but I have not sent them my video.
Will you put it on YouTube too?
I don't know yet. I have to think about that.
All right, from in the house here.
That's right.
What were your filming? What was your filming equipment?
I had a DJI Mavic Mini drone, and a GoPro, and of course my photography camera.
Cool. From Moses, can we please help?
Yeah, buy my t-shirts.
No, dude, be more expansive. Yes.
You guys can go to the Boundary Waters website. You can find all sorts of fun little things you can do, whether it be donating money or just getting educated on it. If you really want to call your representatives, you can do that. I'm sure they would love that.
Oh my goodness,
They
yes.
would probably be very happy if you call them.
Althea wants to know, is my mom crying?
She is about to be, yes.
She's okay. So proud of you, Grandma, Grandpa. Any other questions from the house? Yes, Jahong.
How did I capture the fish? Well, I hooked into it. Well, my dad hooked into it and then took the GoPro, went underwater.
Wow. Have you thought about a career in conservation?
Yes, actually, that's what I want to go to. Well, kind of. I want to go to college for environmental education or outdoor education so I can lead groups into the boundary waters.
So cool. Yeah, yeah.